So let's talk about home sale contingencies because they are like non-existent in this market. There is no way that any seller is going to take a home sale contingency. What can you do to help out?
Yeah, and in regard to that as well, you have heard over and over and over again as a listing agent that your sellers don't want to put their house on the market until they find a house, right?
Right.
So when we're looking as a loan officer at someone's file, we have to include debt to income ratio. We're looking at, we have one mortgage here. Can that person carry a second mortgage at the same time and still qualify? If they can, then you can write an offer being non-contingent on the sale of that property. But what if they don't have the capability to do that with their income and debt load and that sort of thing? And there's some creative ways that we can tackle that in this market. One of them is a bridge loan. That's where we are borrowing money from the existing home to put down as a down payment on the new one. What's cool about that scenario is that you don't have to include the old property's mortgage in the new debt to income ratio. The downside of that is you have some closing costs. Another one is a HELOC, a home equity line of credit. You can use that if you don't have the funds necessarily for the new place. You take out that line against the equity in the old house to use as a down payment on the new one. The thing with that one though is now we have to qualify carrying the old mortgage, the home equity line of credit, and the new mortgage. So, only some people can do that. And that's why it's very individualized. Now, here is a very creative solution that we just used on a transaction that was just really fun and kind of tricky at the same time. So, daughter and son-in-law are buying a new house. They own a current home and don't want to sell, necessarily before they find the new house. They could not qualify to carry both mortgages. And they also wanted to write the offer non-contingent. Well, how do we do that? We asked her, hey, do you have a relative, your mom or dad or someone who would be willing to come on the loan with you? Her dad said yes. And he owned his property free and clear. So it made it really simple that way. So dad came onto the loan. We now have 3 people on the loan. They've contracted on the new property because they're non-contingent, so they won. Now they're going to sell the old property. They complete that sale before the new one closes, and they write an addendum to the contract pulling dad off the loan. So putting dad on there temporarily allowed them to write the non-contingent offer, didn't put dad out anything other than just having his credit run, and that's how they won.
Wow, that's a really creative solution, Kim. I mean, now they were really helped out by the fact that they were able to get the second property under contract and close before the first one. Correct. So, there is a little bit of risk involved there, sure. But in this market, it's a risk that a lot of people, can consider taking on.
Right.
Wow. So, I've learned a lot today.
Oh, I do want to know, so what happens if it didn't close right before the new one? What would have happened to dad? Well, the loan would have closed with him on there, but here's the reality. After they've made 6 payments, they could refi him off. Yeah. So there's a way out.
There is a way out. Dad, you're not stuck with dad all the time.
Or vice versa.
Or vice versa, whatever. It's like, oh, we're never getting rid of our kids.
Yeah.
Right. Well, Kim, thank you so much for coming by and teaching me something. I hope you guys have learned something as well. And so I will talk to you again soon, I'm sure.
Sounds great.